Hello, my name is Rody, and today we are going to talk about what 30 years of golfing teaches you. And I'm going to tell you 5 of the truths that I have learned over the years of playing as an amateur, a junior, and a professional. And these truths help me till today to make decisions, to go forward in my life, and be successful in what I do. So today I want to share these 5 truths with you. So sit down, enjoy the video, and I'm going to show also a part of myself from when I was young and how I went through this whole journey of playing golf and how it helped me. So the first truth, I got it over here. People who start early often have the most talent later. And I hear you thinking, like, talent doesn't exist. But the thing is, if you start really early, this is me playing when I was 2 years old. So you see already that some movement has already developed, and learning movement as an adult is way harder than it is for a child. You often see this with languages. So if a child learns a language at an early age, he is able to learn that language very quick. That it's the same case with physical abilities. So that was my lesson. And what I see now is that when I get older, I meet some people who I used to see in the past. So when I was 7, 8 years old, and now they're all grown up. So we are in our 30s right now. And the people who have started early, they seem to have a lot of talent. They seem to do it very easy without even doing any training. So maybe it's good that I tell you a little bit about how I started and where I finished. So I started playing golf when I was 2, and I got selected for the national squad when I was 7, and I played my first international as a player for my national team at the age of 11, and I played my first professional tournament when I was 14. I won my first professional tournament when I was 19, and I lived in Ireland as well to start having the best coaching in the world. So that is my second point. So the second point is your coach or teacher has a major influence on your success. So I have switched coaches a lot, and every coach I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for all the lessons and the teachings that they got me at the time. And there is a certain level that a teacher or a coach can provide to you in order to come forward to the level where you want to be. There are also some coaches who keep on developing. So these coaches take courses themselves. They try to engage with the best coaches in the world. So I have worked with coaches who also went to seminars, who did a lot of education on the side. They went to professional tournaments in order to make notes to see what the best players in the world would do. So it's not that you also should switch coaches. So some players are very comfortable being with the same coach forever. But in my opinion, also the coach needs to be a good player as well. So when you are taking coaching in any realm, in maybe it's fitness, maybe it's dating, maybe it's your finances, but I like to get educated by somebody who actually can deliver the results and the abilities himself. So me as a student, I can be a bit of a pain in the ass student, if you would ask me, because sometimes I'll provoke the teacher to show me how good he is. And that, in order to do that, then sometimes the coach or the teacher shows me off, and I'm like, okay, you're the coach, you're the best. And that is great, because that creates a different dynamic between the coach and the teacher. But that is my opinion. It doesn't have to be like that. Some coaches are very smart, very educated, and they don't really need, or especially when they get older. So if your coach is like 50 or 60, they're not able to make the movement anymore, like in the way that they could when they were 20 or 30. So that brings me to the third truth, which is more of a mental truth, and this helps in any realm, in any profession, in any skill or competence where you want to be great, competence is confidence. So if you want to get confident or feel confident in a work floor, in a realm, a place, you need to be one of the best, or you want to be one of the best. So it doesn't matter if you are going to work, if you have an office job, if you are doing a different sport, if you're doing in the gym, it doesn't really matter, but competence is confidence. So if you are the very best in the room, if you are the very best in the field, you will feel a certain way. I have experienced this during tournaments. There were tournaments where I would show up. So I played the World Championship in America, and I played in Florida, Palm Beach, where I would fly out and came in a new country. I had never been to the States, and I would play there, and I was not the best there. I finished like top 50, and I got basically demolished by the field. I was playing in the age of 12 to 13, and I was at the time I was just turned 12, so I was very small at the time. And then I flew back to Holland, and I played there in the national competition. I felt like I was one of the best, and actually I finished second in the national championship. But the experience, even though I was doing the same thing, even though I was being the same person, even though I was doing the same swing and movement, it totally felt different in the field. So your environment really determines how you feel. So you want to be the best in the field, and also sometimes you want to change your environment in order to actually climb up the ladder. But it does feel good to be to be the best in the field. Number 4, this is more of a life truth that I learned later, and this is something why young people, people who start young, have more talent, and this is the reason why I think that is. Of course, you have the physical mechanic part, but this truth could be the difference. So you have 2 fears to beat in life: the fear of failure and the fear of winning. Let me explain. So if you're young and you play a lot of competition, you get over the fear of failing and you get over the fear of winning because you're doing a lot of games. When you're getting older, it actually gets into your head. So if I win this, then this happens. Or if I don't do this, then that happens. If I fail, then people would see it. So people get nervous. They get into their heads. And when you're young, you don't care really. Like a little bit, but you only care about the opinion of your parents at that time. So you sort of mentally you get into the different place. And this is something you have to face. You have to look this in the eye. And if you're watching any of my other videos, I have other professions that I have been doing in my career. I won't get into that in this video, maybe in another video, but in order to succeed, whether it is with your body, whether it is with your dating life, with your finances, you need to consider what happens when you fail. You need to consider what happens when you win. And in order to do that, you need to be brave. And that is what you learn if you play professionally or when you are playing at the high level of competence. And you need to be in that position over and over again to be triggered that failure could be on you or that winning is within reach, because then you will feel pressure, and pressure makes all the difference. Pressure changes who you are, how you feel, and how you perceive the thing that is actually happening, because it totally changes. Even though you're doing the same thing, it could be totally different when the circumstances or money is on the line. Everything changes with pressure. So that is what you need to learn. So the last one, number 5, to become a professional, you need to love the skill that you are practicing. This is you might wonder, why did you stop? I didn't love it in the core of my heart to be a golfer. I wasn't being a golfer, and that is what you need to be. In order to be a professional, you need to be a professional. So you need to become the profession. You need to be, if you want to be a doctor, you should become a doctor. Not like I finished my medical studies, so so that makes me a doctor. You actually want to help people and want to nurture and want to heal people. That is why you are a doctor, and that is why you want to become a golfer. So in order to love being a golfer, you have to want being on the golf course. For example, I was allergic to grass. That doesn't work, but even though I did it for 30 years, but I mean, like, I wasn't fully embracing being a golfer. And that is what you need to be in order to be the best in the field. In order to be be the profession, you need to love it. You need to figure out every detail and make all the skills your own. I was blessed and privileged to meet Rory McIlroy, one of the best golfers maybe ever, and he is the best golfer ever in Europe. At the moment, he is the second best golfer in the world, and I've met him in a locker room, and we had a conversation where I told him, actually, I didn't tell him, but I asked him, I said, Rory, why are you the best player in the world? Like I am practicing maybe as much as you. I started early, but why are you the best? And he gave me an answer that I didn't expect. He told me he loved it. He loved the game. He would play it every day for 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. If he has to, if he must do, he would. And I didn't have that feeling. I just did it on determination, discipline, and you can come very far with discipline. But especially during the bad periods, it's hard for you to actually feel great about yourself. So if you love what you're doing, you will never feel like working. And what you also will notice, if you're doing something for a very long time and you are committed towards a goal, you will get ups and downs. Things happen in your life, you know, people will die, your girlfriend breaks up, or whatever happens in your life. You get the ups and downs, but if you love what you're doing, then you can keep going, because that thing that you are doing makes you happy, and you can keep on doing that even though your life is great, or you have a lot of money, you have a lot of girls, you have a great body. It doesn't really matter because you keep doing the thing. You don't have to do it. You don't have the feeling that you must do something. You do it because you want to. And that makes all the difference in people who have heart for the profession that they do, heart for the sport, whatever you want to call it. So those were my 5 truths up until 30 years of golf. If you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and you can also look at my shorts and see all the different activities that I'm doing. So give me a thumbs up, and hopefully see you in the next video. This was Rody. See you next time. Bye bye.